Also, now we're joined by our guest, Ambassador S.R. Thayil, former senior diplomat. Sir, a very warm welcome to the broadcast. Ambassador, the SCO members condemning Pahalgam terror attack shows a significant diplomatic win for India, of course, and demonstrates how the world stands united with India in its fight against terrorism and its finances as well. Your take?
I think this very strong reflection of the united declaration of all SCO members, all 10 SCO members on Pahalgam terrorist incident, where it condemns the incident and also asks that all perpetrators, organizers and sponsors of this heinous terror attack should be brought to justice. There is a strong message in that because Pakistan was present there. And Prime Minister in his statement very clearly said that those who have some kind of support for this kind of terrorist action, they also should look inwards. And he thanked all those Mitra Desh, the friendly countries who supported India. Now, this is a very strong change from June 26 Raksha Mantri level, Defense Minister level meeting, where our Raksha Mantri had to disassociate himself from this. So one has to see it in the context of yesterday's summit meeting between Prime Minister Modi and President Xi Jinping. And then that Prime Minister Modi, of course, terrorism was reflected, and he said that partners, India and China should be partners and not rivals. And President Xi Jinping gave some 4 points on which there could be movement forward. And 2 points were improved strategic communication and accommodate each other's concerns. Now, by this inclusion of a strong paragraph condemning terrorism in the Pahalgam incident, China has moved from its position, very negative position, of June of this year. So this is a good signal and bodes very well for future ties of India and China. See, SCO is an organization, it gives a reflection of the intentions of the members. It does not execute anything. It is not, RATS is their regional anti-terrorist structure. That is for exchange of information, exchange of intelligence, etc. But if China also is convinced of Pakistan's involvement in Pahalgam incident, then it can put pressure on Pakistan. And so it is for the future to say, but it is a very positive development, not only from India's point of view from the platform of Shanghai Cooperation Organization, but also in India-China bilateral relationships as we go forward.
Ambassador, from PM Modi's remarks today at the SCO, India's message certainly goes out loud and clear when it comes to terrorism. No double standards acceptable. PM Modi mentioned Pahalgam terror attack during his remarks and also said that India witnessed the ugly face of terrorism during that time. How do you see this?
The barbarity of Pahalgam terrorist incident and religion was asked. It was inhuman. It was an attack not only on India's soul, but an attack on all humanity. And that is what was very strongly conveyed by our Prime Minister to the 10 members, other 9 members of Shanghai Cooperation Organization. And they agreed they shared India's pain, and they have now resolved to work together to bring the perpetrators, organizers and sponsors of attack to justice. So now they have to convert their words into action. RATS, Regional Anti-Terrorist Structure in Tashkent, is one of the forums where all the financing of terrorism, where are they coming from, intelligence is shared. And we hope that there will be actual action, particularly by Pakistan, in this direction.
Indeed. Also, Ambassador, the meeting between Prime Minister Modi and Chinese President Xi Jinping signifies an upward trajectory in the ties between two nations. As we were talking, with leaders pointed to the role of their economies in stabilizing global commerce. How do you see this partnership from the trade perspective and its importance in the geopolitical landscape?
This partnership of 2.8 billion people is, of course, extremely important, not only for Indo-Pacific, not only for East Asia, but globally. And India's effort has always been, and as Prime Minister very clearly said in his interview to the Japanese newspaper, that India is looking for stability, stability, and amicable relations with China. That has been our quest. It was disturbed by China for whatever reasons in April of 2020 by Galwan attacks. But after the Kazan meeting 1 year ago between Prime Minister Modi and President Xi Jinping on the side of BRICS, there has been some positive movement.
Yes.
And then Foreign Minister Wang Yi's meeting in Delhi, and finally yesterday's meetings. Also, the strategic importance is there, but on economy, India's issue is of this great trade deficit which Chinese have, and also Chinese have sort of stopped some supply of some very critical material for India, like tunnel boring machines and these magnets and some fertilizers. There is a shortage of fertilizers in India. So there is a lot of interdependence between India and China. As far as economy is concerned, China is the second largest economy of the world. India is the fourth, going to be third perhaps after a few years. So one has to do more business with each other, more investments with each other. And the kind of Trump tariff tyranny is there. Both India and China are victims. So that also shows that countries of global south as well as major economies must interact more with each other and reduce economic dependence on US, and from our point of view also on China, frankly. But for that it is very important that there is some element of predictability in India-China relations. Trust is still missing. It will take time for trust to be rebuilt after what has happened in April 2020 and what happened in Operation Sindoor. When we found that China was giving real-time intelligence, real-time support to Pakistani equipment. See, we also buy Rafale planes from Rafael or from Russia, but they don't help us in actually using those equipment when China did. So there are major issues.
But the ties are getting stronger, sir. I mean, we have to be happy and content. The ties are certainly getting stronger. You know, the meeting between Prime Minister Modi and President Xi Jinping, I mean, certainly gives a strong message to the world that the ties are on upward trajectory now, and the future looks bright when it comes to the partnership between both the countries. We also saw a visual today of PM Modi and President Putin traveling in the same car while leaders were going for their bilateral talks. What does it signify as far as the relationship between two nations is concerned? And perhaps it's sending a strong message to Washington, isn't it?
I think that traveling together in the same car gives much bigger message than that meeting which they had or the delegation level meetings, that there is a kind of a trust, there is a kind of personal chemistry, there is a friendship. After all, President Putin and our Prime Minister have been meeting each other for the last 11 years.
Correct.
And on the sidelines of different summits, maybe about 20 times or more. So there is a certain understanding. And of course, Russia has always stood by India. India has always stood by Russia. Even in difficult times, under tremendous American pressure, Western pressure, we did not harm or any kind diluted our relations with Russia. So there is as President Putin said in his remarks in the delegation level meeting, there is a vishwasniye.
Yeah,
There is
correct.
an element of trust, and not only among the leadership, among the masses, among the people. So, but traveling together in the same car has a big message. But I would say that, yes, of course, the whole West is watching this SCO summit, as well as Prime Minister Modi's meetings with President Xi Jinping and President Putin, their own lens, with their own criteria, with their own issues. But for India, the three most important bilateral relationships, India US, India China, India Russia, they have their own logic, their own benefits, their own objectives. And they, as far as India is concerned, we try and we are convinced that these three have to be treated separately. And as our Foreign Secretary clearly said, one relationship is not neither dependent on other nor influenced by other. This is a multi-alignment policy where India's national interest is supreme, and these things are temporary. India-US relations have been harmed badly by President Trump, but he's there for 4 years. So India always takes a long-term view. Whether it is our relationship with even with China, we never broke diplomatic relations with China. Our ambassador is there, and always, even in the worst of times, communications have been continuing.
Yes, yes.
Of course, West, it looks at SCO as a anti-West organization, where we say it is not anti-West, it is non-West. That Western countries may not be there, but
Okay.
it's not anti-West.
You said
So
that
it-
right. Ambassador, you said that right. The world is looking at SCO. The world is also looking at the meeting between Prime Minister Modi and President Putin and also President Xi Jinping. It is also sending a strong message to the Western world. And like I said, the future looks good when it comes to the relationship between India and China and India and Russia as well. We leave it there, sir. Thank you so much for joining in on DD India News Hour.